vlog today, guys, we are going to be building our two 10x10 goat stalls out of pallets. Now, we did purchase a little bit of wood here for the walls, but 90% of it's going to be built out of pallets. We thought we'd bring you along with us today as we build our goat stalls. So our plan is to attach the 2x4s that we purchased to the floor with concrete lag bolts so we can sit the pallets on top of the 2x4s and fasten the pallets to the 2x4s for strength. So now that we got our wall up, we got all our studs in, we've slid them into our pallets, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start putting up our sheets of plywood. Now, we asked ourselves, was it worth using pallets? As you can still see, we had to buy 2x4s to hold up the pallets. The pallets on their own, if you were to go another layer with the pallets, it probably wouldn't have been strong enough. Plus, we only had about 22 pallets. If I had about 80 pallets and I ripped them all apart, I might have had enough material to make a solid wall out of pallets. But in this case, we had to use some 2x4s. But this wall is extremely strong. I mean, it's so strong, we could put a unicorn in here. But on the bottom, we've lag bolted them into the concrete so the bottom can't move. So we're going to go ahead now, we're going to start putting up our plywood. So we got up some of our walls here. We started installing our DIY pallet feeder. We're going to put another 2x4 right here, and the pallet's going to tilt out. There's going to be arms coming to it so you can put the hay in there. We're going to move this light here to the middle so we got more light. In the back here, I'm going to be installing another LED light because you can see how dark it is back here right now. So that both stalls have a light. We got to put up the rest of the wall here. We're also going to be putting up some plywood up above the doors just so we can insulate it a little bit more. I'm going to be moving this electrical plug up higher above the rafters so that we can plug in a heat lamp. And when we have babies in the wintertime, we can have a heat lamp hanging down here to keep them warm. So we just got to finish putting up the rest of our plywood here. We need to build the rest of the wall right here and install some plywood. So we need to move a couple plugs. We also want to install a couple extra lights. And of course, say hi to our best friend, Freddie here. But the first thing you got to do is you've got to turn off the power. Now we can get started.
So we've taken off our cover plate. I'm going to undo the outlet and I'm going to unhook the wire so we can pull it up through the hole. We don't want the wire getting caught when we put up our plywood. So we're going to completely move this outlet up to the top of the roof.
So we got our lights finished. We got a new one installed here. We got 5 installed all together around the barn. We only had 3 before, so we put in 2 new ones. We got the plugs moved. Now here's the true test to see if they actually work. We're just going to head over here to the breaker. We're going to throw the breaker on. And we're going to try the lights. Look at that.
They work.
They work. We got lots of light in the goat stalls over here. Let's check it out. Let's see how bright it is. we put these LED bulbs in. We're going to be changing them out for the other two type that we have in the front that are a lot brighter, but for now these will work. I'm actually really impressed how bright it is back here. This is going to work really good. So now that we got the lights done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish up our walls. So the previous owners had a trailer on the property here and they installed this outlet box. Now we want to move the electrical to the little mini barn for the chickens so that we can put some plugs in there and some lights. Now after inspecting how this was installed, we noticed that the electrical wasn't even 6 inches down in the dirt. Let's show you guys right over here. We got the electrical. I started pulling up the electrical, and right over here, you can see here, the electrical was down maybe 3 inches. This electrical wire is supposed to be down at least 18 inches and needs to be in some conduit, PVC piping of some sort. And usually about 6 to 12 inches before the PVC piping, there should have been yellow caution tape, letting people know in the future if they were to dig this up, they're going to hit electrical. I can simply grab the electrical and pull it out of the ground. This is a big no-no. If anybody were to come in here with an excavator and hit this, somebody could have got hurt. So we need to remove this today and make it right.
So we finished up all the work on our 2 goat stalls inside of our garage conversion. We do have a couple finishing touches, but nothing major. We're going to cut both of these doors in half so that the top opens so we can check on the goats, feed them, things like that. We'll bring you inside, you can have a look. This is our first stall. This one here is going to connect to our main goat run. This is where the door is going to be for the goats. It's not built yet, so we just put a temporary piece of plywood on there just to keep the dogs away from it. This wall here that we built actually opens, so you can have one giant stall or access to the 2 stalls individually. So I'll take you over to this stall here. This is our second stall we have. You can see that there's a half wall here so that we can check on the goats just to make sure anything's going on. We can feed them, give them treats, things like that. We've started our hay feeder. This is going to be a pallet hay feeder that we're building on this wall here. We just have 1 2x4 up just to mark our placement where we're going to start it. In the meantime, we've put a dog access in here for the dogs. It's really hot here when it's sunny and we don't have a lot of trees for shade. So we just wanted to have somewhere they could get in, out of the sun when we're out working in the yard and things like that. So for now, this is their area to play in. So we got all of the lighting done in both of the stalls. They do have LED lights in here, but we're thinking of changing them out to the same kind of lights that we have in the main part of the garage, just because they're a lot brighter and it makes it easier for working at nighttime. We do have a couple more things to do in here, just with the pallet feeders we want to install, as well as a couple of supplement feeders, and of course the water buckets for the goats. The only big decision left is what kind of goat should we get. If you guys have goat suggestions for us, leave it in the comments down below. Keeping in mind that the main reason we're getting these goats is for the milk. So something that's good as a dairy production, like a Nigerian or an Alpine, something on the smaller side would be great. So make sure you guys leave a comment for me of the best type of goat that we should get. Let's head over to the main garage and look at a couple other projects.
So on the farm, when you're homesteading or you're starting a farm for the first time, you're doing it on a budget, some of the things that you want to think about is picking up equipment that's used. Now, there's problems that can come with that. And that is an old lawnmower like this one here. This one's from the 90s. This is a 95 MTD Yardworks. We picked this up for 200 bucks. It needed a new starter, it needed some front end work, the deck is all loose, the blades need to be tightened up, it needed a lot of work. If you're handy, you can save yourself a lot of money by doing the work yourself. The only thing left we got to do on this is we have to restore the carb. We're going to take the carburetor out, we're going to clean it, we're going to put it back in, we're going to do some videos on that showing you guys how we take it all apart, so stay tuned for videos on that. We're going to get this up and going so that we can use this around the farm. Another project we got going right now is we're doing a restoration on this little 3x6 trailer that we're going to pull behind the lawnmower so that we can haul wood in it, dirt, grass, whatever we need to do. Stay tuned for videos of us finishing off this trailer and getting it up and going. So another project we got on the farm is 1,000 feet of wire that we got to run all around the front and the side of the farm. We're not going to do the full 5 acres because that would just be way too much. We're only going to do part of the farm. We've got these gates back here that we got to install in the driveway and along the sides to access the back field. And also we got probably still about 80 T-posts here to also install to hold up the fencing. Now I'm not going to talk about the 4-inch PVC piping here because that's for another video, so make sure you stay tuned for that, guys. So if you like today's video, give us a thumbs up. If you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you get notified every time we upload a new video. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.